28 Days and Beyond, where we are celebrating our history, our heritage, our culture, and our own authentic voice. And today with us, we have Felicia to the set.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Felicia, give people a snapshot of who you are and where you're from.
Well, I'm from San Antonio, Texas. I'm the oldest of two. I have a younger sister who's a school principal now.
Wow.
My mom is a retired teacher, and my dad is a retired attorney.
What was it like growing up in San Antonio?
San Antonio is a military town.
Okay.
So it was kind of slow. Not a lot of trouble to get into. I would call it a typical suburban upbringing in San Antonio.
Okay.
Yes.
Now, where did you first, when you left San Antonio in your formative years?
Yes.
You know, what universities did you go to, and what did you practice, or what was your major?
Well, brother, I went to Tuskegee University.
Okay, Tuskegee.
Yes, from San Antonio, I went to Tuskegee University. And after I finished Tuskegee, I went to Thurgood Marshall School of Law, Texas Southern, in Houston, Texas. And from there, I got a job in Trenton with a judge, which was quite rare at the time, to be honest with you. To come all the way from Texas and to get a job in Trenton was quite rare. And from there, I started my law practice.
So what was the cultural differences going from San Antonio, then the university, and then coming to Trenton on the East Coast?
Okay, I'll give you an example. When I first started working for my judge, she did family law at the time.
Okay.
So my job was to mediate people to come in for child support and custody.
Okay.
So this couple came in, and they had a little baby with them, and it was a husband and wife, and I was to negotiate child support. Well, my suburban upbringing was, well, your husband and wife and you have a little baby, what are we discussing child support for? I know, baby, this time is stressful. And the husband sat up very straight. He said, well, the baby is the problem. I said, well, sir, I do understand that babies can bring stress. He said, no, the baby's not mine. I said, sir, we're going to leave this one to the judge. I just was not prepared for, although my parents divorced, I just was not prepared for the differences in life. That's a big lesson I had to learn coming from San Antonio, Texas, where it's mostly military town, to Trenton, New Jersey. I had to learn fast, and I had to learn that people come all different ways and not just the cookie cutter that I had seen growing up.
Now, was it different when you went to the university? I mean, what was the culture like at Thurgood Marshall?
Tuskegee. Well, I'll start with Tuskegee because that was a difference also, but it was still kind of insulated because you had more suburban schools because Tuskegee is a private school.
Yeah.
So you had all these suburban kids, really, I would call it now, coming together in Tuskegee from all over the world. I remember a king from Ghana, his daughter was in my dorm with me.
Wow.
But it wasn't a culture shock for me, wasn't different. You know, of course not, it was Tuskegee University, so everybody was African American, more predominantly. But it wasn't a big change for me because it was still a private school with middle class people. So
now, what was her impression, and then we're going to move on to something else because I'm
Okay.
chopping at the bit with some of the other stuff
No
that
problem.
you do. What was it like, that African student coming to Tuskegee?
she fit right in. To
Fit
be
right in.
honest with you, I wouldn't have known that she was the child of a king from Ghana if I hadn't heard it. I had never talked to her directly. There was nothing different. I couldn't tell anything different about how because there were a lot of students there from Africa. So there was really nothing different.
Now, this
quite
is
frank with
interesting. You got a mother that's a teacher and a dad
Yes.
that's a lawyer. You got
Yes.
so you got one daughter that's a lawyer,
Yes.
and the other one's a
Yes,
teacher.
we took after both parents. Yes.
So what made you go into that bit, becoming a lawyer?
Well, actually, my dad he's a nerd. He was a CPA before he was an attorney. So
Okay.
he didn't go to law school until I was in my sophomore year of high school.
Okay.
But for me, I had always wanted to be an attorney. I like to talk.
Okay, they talk a lot, make money
yes,
too now.
Yes, I say sometimes I minored in psychology, so I probably should have been a therapist. So talk, therapist, and I like to help people. Go into law.
But you know, I want people to help people understand, how were you able to identify what you was good at a very young age? Because I think that's critical.
I always identified with people.
Okay.
I always liked people, and I was always for the underdog.
Okay.
Still that way. And I just didn't like to see people taken advantage of. I didn't like to see people hurt. And that's always been me. That's why I said I probably maybe should have been a therapist or something. But so that aspect of my personality to help people is really what drew me to law. outside of being a therapist.
Okay. Now, you do multiple things with the law. You
Yes.
are an entertainment lawyer, right?
I've done entertainment, yes.
So you're a criminal defense attorney.
Yes.
Give people a snapshot.
And family law. Come on,
And
brother
family
Al.
law.
We have to get it all.
You gotta get
Family law.
family.
Yes,
She
yes.
covered the whole base.
Yes, yes.
Because
yes.
entertainers do got family
Yes,
problems.
that's right. That's right. That's right.
So give people a snapshot of some of the things you do within the criminal
Okay.
component of your
Okay.
profession, as well as the family.
Okay. The criminal component, I've run the gamut. I've done murderers,
Okay.
rapists, drug dealers, abusers. I've done it all, everything in criminal. In family, child support, custody, divorce, any aspect of the family law. I've done pretty much all of that. And as I said, I started off first working for a judge, so I got to see that aspect first before I actually went into helping the people come to some type of conclusion or resolve their issues.
Now, when it comes to that whole custody,
Yes.
family component,
Yes.
who are your, if I can use the word, typical
Right.
individuals that come into the court, and what are some of the things that you have seen when it impacts communities of color, from a male to female perspective?
Quite frankly, which I hate to say, I mean, as far as my community, the black community, but quite frankly, before we go there, I understand what you're saying, the black community, but in my profession, what I found is almost socioeconomic,
Okay.
meaning people from a certain income bracket, from what I found, kind of behave the same. So a lot of my clients have been minority. And when we do family law, what I see is, unfortunately, the people have not been married and they have a child. And therein lies the issue. So, but I will be honest with you, brother. What I've found was, and I've discussed it with a number of people, if I could help one demographic, that demographic would be the minority male.
Okay.
With his representation in criminal and family court. If I could do seminars or help or talk, that's the demographic that I would like to help the most. You want to know why, right, brother? All right.
Yeah, I want to know why. Go on.
I would say because I think they are the most underrepresented. I think they are the least heard. What I have found is that women, we are more natural communicators.
Okay.
So when a woman has a child and she files for child support or any other custody, she wants sole custody away from the father, she comes to court and she is able to tell her story. She's able to communicate and say, well, he's done this and he's done this and he's done that. Men, however, I have found don't communicate as well when they show up, brother. That's another thing. I believe that most of the men that I have talked to have said, well, they just going to give her the kid anyway. They just going to take all my money, so what I'm going to go in there, I'm not going to let the man in my business. That's the mentality.
They're already in your business.
Yes. Once she filed, they in there. You can forget it, so you might as well show up. But I have found that that is the thought process of the men. And unfortunately, when that happens, all the court has is what she's saying. So if she goes in there and says, I know he makes $700 a month, that brother might make $200 a month. But he's not there to say that. He doesn't come. So I would really like to help men understand that they need to show up.
Yeah.
Even if you just show up, you've won half the battle there. And when they do show up, unfortunately, women, we tend to be able to out-talk men.
Yeah.
So, unfortunately, when they do come to court, if they aren't represented, the woman can talk. And she can tell the story and she can cut him off. After a while, man is going to be quiet when he feels he hasn't been heard. And so the judge only has to go on again what she says. And unfortunately, I do agree that a lot of times they get the shorter end of the stick.
So, man, we are out of time, but let's do this. What are some of the ways, because you're talking about being an advocate for men, so what are
Yes.
some of the ways that people can get in contact with you if it's through email?
Okay,
Can
I
you-
have a management company. I have a lot of hats
You
for,
got a lot of hats.
for
Go
doing
ahead, go ahead.
entertainment.
Go ahead.
And it would be jnst.management@gmail.com.
Hey, look, I'm going to tell you right now, if you're in trouble and you need an entertainment lawyer, a manager, an advocate, and you got family problems and criminal problems, I would call her. Hey, we thank you once again for tuning in with 28 Days and Beyond, where we're celebrating our history, our heritage, and our culture in our own authentic voice. And once again, we would like to thank Felicia for coming to the set, and we ask you to tune in again. Have a great day.